I choose joy. I choose joy to be who I must be, for the light to shine in me, for everyone to be free. I choose joy. I choose joy. In this moment, right here, I choose joy. I choose joy. For the ones that I hold dear, I choose joy. I choose joy to be who I must be, for the light to shine in me, for everyone to be free. I choose joy. I choose joy for everyone to be free. I choose joy. I choose joy.
Appropriate. Thank you. I choose joy. How about you? Choose joy in this moment? Yeah, yeah. Welcome to Unity Spiritual Center of Woodstock. We are so glad you are here. Thank you for sharing your unique energy with us. My name is Kim Joswiak, and I will be both the platform assistant and the speaker today. So yeah, get me double time. And I will be talking about joy. It's one of my favorite topics. How about we start with a prayer? Divine Spirit, we hear you crackling over the radio waves. We feel that energy, unseen like the radio waves. But just incorporate that sound maybe into your heart space. That energy that is being pumped in your heart, your lungs, your whole body. May we be light and love today. May we shine brightly the joy of life in all. Thank you for this unique experience through the power and love and joy of Jesus the Christ. Amen. We've got a lot of activity today. We're trying to figure this out. I learned something today about microphones. I didn't know it's radio waves. And sometimes interference will happen, especially during this time on a Sunday, because other churches are also using radio waves. So there's a bit of an interference, but I love that. Like we're having these beautiful thoughts and ideas and words and songs all at the same time that the radio waves can't even contain it. So that's kind of cool to me. Let's go ahead and begin with our 5 unity principles. These are foundational to all that we are here at Unity Spiritual Center. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life. God, the good omnipotence. The Christ Spirit lives within me. Thoughts held in mind produce after their kind. I experience God's presence and power through prayer and meditation. I put my faith into action by demonstration. Here at Unity Spiritual Center, we are all about living a more spiritual experience than a religious one. This means that we very much honor your unique ideas, expression of who your higher power is. Here, many of us call that the Christ presence, but you can call that whatever you want. Unity respects all religions and does not discourage any practices that you may hold dear. We're not here to tell you what to do. We're here just to support you in your beautiful journey here on this planet. At this time, I'd like to let you know that you are all part of the Mulligano and Joswiak show. What we have on our tech team is Joe Joswiak and George Mulligano. And then, of course, we have our wonderful musician, Lori Mulligano. And then, of course, me, Kim Joswiak. So you are surrounded.
All the clouds blew away. Got no trouble today. With anyone. The smile on your face, to see. It's enough for me, baby. It's enough for me. Oh, heavenly day, heavenly day, heavenly day. Tomorrow may ring with sorrow, can borrow. Forget all your troubles in these moments so true. Only the right now, the only thing that, all that we really have to do is have ourselves a heavenly day. Lay here and watch the trees sway. Can't see no other way, no other way. Oh, heavenly day, heavenly day, heavenly day. No one at my shoulder bringing me fears. Got no clouds above me bringing me fears. Tell you, I've got nothing much to say, just that I'm glad to be here with you on this heavenly, 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 heavenly day. All the troubles are gone away for a while anyway. And on this heavenly day, I breathe in and out as I surrender. I will surrender to my greatest, highest good. I will release any fears that block my way. For every step I take is taken in pure faith. And I am kinder every moment, every day. I'm more joyful every moment, every day. I surrender every moment, every day.
I'd like to invite you to maybe close your eyes and just be in this moment. Now I'm going to ask you to do something a little different than we normally do during meditation. So you're actually going to have to open your eyes. And what I invite you to do is actually stand up and move to the peripheral of the room here, that we're all kind of in a circular formation that we can see each other. So if you can stand up and move to the ends, if you can, of your, there you go. And maybe stand like 5 feet from one another. So we're just kind of a semicircle, whatever that looks like, or you can just do it right here too. Yeah, there you go. And maybe some of you can just go in the middle here, and that you're kind of just in this semicircle, about 5 feet away from each other. There you go. There you go. And I want you just to kind of look around you, put some space between you if you need to, if that feels better for you. And now, after that, I'd like you to take a deep breath. I'd like you to wiggle your toes and feel your feet on the ground. And then ever so slightly, I'd like you to start to just kind of move back and forth. And maybe even flop your hands back and forth. And what this does is it calms your nervous system. This is science. That when our nervous system is a little agitated, or even in a good way, a little excited, but we want to calm our system, we kind of just sway back and forth like we would do. I don't know if you've ever held a newborn baby, but we almost intuitively do that with us. So right now, just maybe kind of sway slightly back and forth, just perhaps holding that heart of yours, that beautiful heart of yours, and allowing this experience to open up maybe different sensations in you. And now if you want to just close your eyes or open your eyes, I'd like you to imagine something that brings you joy. Something that just brings you happiness, that sparks your interest, that makes you feel alive. I know for some of you, you're artists. You love to do Zentangle. That really makes you happy. Some of you, you love to do acts of service. That just brings you a ton of joy. Some of you like to cook. I think some of you even like to clean. I can't imagine that bringing joy, but for some of you, I think it does. Yeah, and as you imagine that, or maybe imagine your favorite place, and just allow it to sink within you and think about those emotions. Feel those emotions that come with you in those favorite spaces. There you go. And now I'd like you to bring up somebody that you love in your mind's eye. And I'd like you to bless them. Maybe thank them for who they are to you and what they bring to you. It could be even just a little animal, maybe a favorite pet, but somebody. And now maybe think of somebody you don't know quite well, but you really think they're cool, and bless them too. Maybe it's somebody you run into every once in a while, somebody at work. You don't know them very well, but there's something about them that you just really like them. And so I'd like you to bless them as well, if you could. Maybe pray for them and say, you know, I pray that they have joy and that they have peace. And now, if you could just bring up somebody that makes you really uncomfortable, that really kind of pushes you past your own feelings of comfort and calm and joy. And take a deep breath. And allow this moment to flood over you. And if you will, maybe imagine just a beautiful light and just put it toward that person. Allowing God to take care of that person. And then also allowing God to take care of you and your own unique experience of that person that it's just difficult. All right, this last thing is what I'd like for you to do is look to your left at the person that's to the left of you, and I'd like to, in your mind's eye, bless them. In whatever blessing you think that just they need, whatever comes up for you. Now to your right. Whatever blessing that comes up to you, for you, that you think this person might need. Good work. Good work, people. This is the community. This is the body of Christ. Each part of the body is necessary. Each unique energy is necessary. None of us can do this alone, this life. That's why we're all drawn here. We're all drawn here because we help each other live our best lives. So thank you for participating. I know this was a little different. And you can have a seat. So as many of you know, I'm a therapist, psychotherapist, and I specialize in trauma, meaning I have a lot of training in how to heal from traumatic experiences and complex trauma, meaning that certain individuals will go through not just one traumatic experience, but multiple traumatic experiences. Some of the most difficult traumatic experiences to heal from is our childhood traumatic experiences. That trauma seems to become kind of this sticky place of where we frame all our perceptions. By the time we're about age 7, we have made a life of perception for ourselves. We literally have a framework by the age of 7, a framework on which we do life with. Now, of course, that is always changing, but that very foundation can, if not worked with and dealt with, can lead us into a life of living like a 5-year-old to 7-year-old. I don't know if you've ever met anybody like that, but I don't know if you've ever seen a full-grown adult have a tantrum. But it is scary, right? I mean, it can be really scary, and that is, you're just getting a little piece. That's their little child inside. Their little child just got totally dysregulated, and now they're having a tantrum. Hopefully, they're not like on the floor, like little 3-year-olds do, and But anyway, so as I've been thinking about what I was going to talk about a couple of weeks ago, I just really sensed that I'd like to, you're supposed to talk or speak about what you know, and I do know this. I know how to heal from trauma, even personally. Personally, I've been through many, many healing experiences to heal my own childhood trauma and just the stuff that happens in life, right? And trauma is best defined as something overwhelming, so overwhelming, that happens to us that we do not at the time have the capacity to deal with. So we'll do several things, and I'm sure you've heard this. We'll either fight, flight, freeze. There's another one called appease, which is codependent behavior, and the other one is flock, where We will get with a group of individuals that are like-minded, and we'll try to stay in the middle of that, and it can kind of turn into groupthink, but it feels safe. And that can be a trauma response. And I think all of us have experienced varieties of that throughout our lives. So where I want to start, though, is living in the reality of joy. Because how does one have joy when you're feeling all the stuff of life? And what is joy? Well, joy is talked about a lot in the Bible. There are 590 verses that say something about joy, which I thought was pretty cool. Here are a few of them. I like this one. You have made known to me the path of life. You will fill me with joy in your presence, with eternal pleasures at your right hand. That's King David. He's talking about God and how he kind of envisions it. I like that. The next one is found in the New Testament in John. As the Father has loved me, this is Jesus talking about his experience of God the Father, so have I loved you. Remain in my love. If you keep my commandments, you will remain in my love, just as I have kept my Father's commandments and remain in his love. I have told you these things so that my love may be in you and your joy may be complete. What? What's complete joy? I kind of like that one. And then this last one I like too. I like this one a lot. This is in Galatians. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Against such things there is no law. Now, the Merriam-Webster dictionary on the internet describes joy as a noun and a verb, a state of being, and also an expression of self. Its root is found in the word rejoice. So with the word joy in mind, what reality are you living in? So let's take a look at reality. We're going to first look at a hummingbird's reality. That is a flower seen through the eyes of a hummingbird, we think. This is a photographer that uses ultraviolet light. And what it does is it pulls up, you can show the next one, it pulls up different colors than we see with our eye. Like on the right, that's a calla lily. Most of the time I think we see it as white. And on the left, that's a bottle brush flower. And so the hummingbird and bees and many insects that pollinate flowers and use flowers for food, they see that ultraviolet spectrum. And we sometimes can see different colors, right? A rainbow. Now, we don't normally see that color, do we? But we do when the sun hits the water just in the right way. All of a sudden, our eyes are open and we see this different color. I've read that hawks and birds, they see ultraviolet waves. They also see wind patterns. They literally see the different patterns of the wind. And I'm like, man, there's so much we don't see. And yet we live in this very narrow reality a lot of times based on the perception we built by the time we were 7 years old. I just want to keep kind of telling you that. And I know a lot of you know this, because here at Unity Spiritual Center, we're all about changing our perception, because our thoughts are prayers, meaning our thoughts are energy and motion, emotion, right? That's what emotion is. That's thoughts starting to happen in our body, creating chemicals, creating something in us. Grounded in the teaching of Buddha, Jesus, Muhammad, reality is formed in our minds. It's where we put our focus. It can be singular. It can be global. It can be a shared reality. Like what I said earlier, sometimes we can share a reality with a group of people or in a family structure. Or sometimes our reality is so different from our family structure. I don't know if you've ever had that feeling, but I did. I was one, I'm the eldest of 5. I don't know, my middle brother too. We both just we had a different way of seeing things, and it got us into so much trouble. He and I don't know, we just like saw things differently, we heard things differently, and the parents were like, no, that is not the way you're supposed to think. We're like, oh, sorry. So reality is experienced, and it becomes a focus, then it becomes a belief, and then it becomes a behavior. So reality is created by what we do most of the time. It's what we really invest our time and energy in that creates our reality. So let's go to neuroscience. Our experiences and our actions create these connections in our brain, along our spine, in our gut. We have more neurons in our gut than we do in our brain even. So we are filled with neurons, meaning those are the energetic parts of us that create thought and action and chemicals. So the mind loops, and it literally is coding our brain all the time. From the time we first get out of the womb, it is starting to get more and more complex. You know, little babies, orange, color orange, we use an orange, this is an orange, this smells like an orange. Orange becomes part of the coding. And sometimes that can go a little sideways. Like, we have mirror neurons. All of us have mirror neurons. Babies learn from mirroring what they see and they feel. So they're always watching everything around them, if they can see. If they can hear, they're hearing everything around them. If they can feel, they're feeling everything around them, putting things in their mouth, mirroring the world that they live in. And if their world is not quite ideal enough, it only has to be 30%. I love this one. You only have to be 30% really good at being a parent. and then your child should be okay. So if you get it 30% of the time, you're going to be fine. Thank God, right? Because, I mean, all that mother guilt. Ugh. And, but if it's less than 30% and that child is not getting enough of that mirroring, things start to go sideways. And what happens is that child starts to create a world that's very unsafe. And so they have to be on the defense all the time. So the world becomes really scary. And so they're very sensitive to their surroundings. And they grow up sensitive to their surroundings. And they also grow up in a belief system. And if they believe they're not good, they're not going to feel like they're good. And then maybe they're going to act not good. Or maybe they want to numb out to that feeling of being not good. So we all have these mirror neurons. But the beautiful thing is, it's not the end of the story. There's something called plasticity of the brain. We're malleable. We can change that by getting very intentional and focused, right? Yeah, you know this. So if we maybe spend a couple of moments throughout the day and remind ourselves, let's say, I am a perfect and good creation, no matter how I feel at this moment. Thank you, heart, for beating. Thank you, lungs, for breathing. Look at what my eyes can see today. Look at what my ears can hear today. And then we just try it again and again and again. And the more we practice this state of being, of whatever we need, it becomes a part of our reality. We are so highly adaptable. We have adapted from so much. I mean, look at us. Now we're able to do, services online, and we have all this technology. But however, as adaptable as we are, our brain hasn't quite caught up. We still get stressed out over things like we used to get stressed out on the Serengeti when we were looking for food. We still kind of look around and see if there's any lions. Our brain does not know what it does not know, and our mind reacts to our brain, reacts to our mind. It's just this very connected thing, right? And I point here, but really our mind takes in all of it. So we have to retrain our brain. We have to detox our mind, and we have to stay on it, because if we don't, we're going to start walking around like we're on the Serengeti, thinking that there's lions behind every bush. So there's an acronym, it's called ANTS, and it's automatic negative thoughts. And ants, if you've ever seen ants come into the home, they make this kind of line, and they're all kind of in this nice, really tidy line. They're very, very organized. They come in and they go to where they're finding, they've already sent out, the explorers. So every once in a while you'll see a couple of ants kind of looking around, and then they go back to the rest of them. They're like, hey, we got some good stuff over here, everybody go. And so then you've got a bunch of ants coming through, and you're like, oh, ants. I don't want ants in my house. So some of us very, organically do things like maybe put down chili peppers. They don't like chili peppers, or like a little ground chili. I use vinegar. They don't really like vinegar either. I don't kill them. I just kind of go, well, actually, maybe I do kill them accidentally. I'm sorry. But, I don't know if you believe in reincarnation, and if you do, I'm sorry if you ever come back as an ant. But we reroute the ants and hopefully give them something better to go do outside. Now, that is just like our brain pathways. Our brain pathways, over and over and over again, they create pathways just like those ant trails. And so how we have to train them is we have to reroute them. And the only way to reroute them is to do something different. And here's another acronym, APPS, A-P-P-S, Automatic Positive Perceptions. You have to train for automatic positive perceptions, like Olympic type training, because we, on default, go to the negative. It's how we've survived. It's how we don't get eaten by lions. And so our base of our spine, it is really all about looking all the time for the negative, walking into a room and going, whoo, I might fall down those stairs. I'm going to be really careful. So I'm going to look down and I'm going to miss like all of this because I'm so focused on not falling. But thank goodness I'm focused on not falling because I don't want to break a leg. So thank you. Thank you, brain, for protecting me. But it can get overboard, particularly if a whole group of people are also operating out of ants, right? They're also in a negative spin. Oh my goodness, didn't we just have a pandemic where the whole world was involved in this? We had a whole world for several years, and still going on, of being afraid of dying. That's a scary thing. That's what we're most afraid of. And so it will create all kinds of behaviors in us human beings. And so we will go and flock to like-minded people to feel safe. And why I'm bringing this up is we are so connected now, aren't we? We're all a bunch of ants on the same anthill. We weren't all, not in the, the 1600s, 1700s. Yeah, I wasn't aware of people across the world. Now, I know about everybody, everything, at any time, if I want. So we really have to protect what we're bringing in. So to build automatic positive perceptions, we need to have daily practices. And I know all of you here have daily practices, right? I mean, that's kind of who we are here. We're really about strengthening our ability to be loving and kind. But some people like meditation, which scientifically is a good one to go to. Meditation really starts to change the way the brain thinks. They use meditation for individuals recovering from radiation treatment. You get so sick and it feels awful, but they use meditation to help bring healing. Literally, when your mind can imagine itself healing, your body starts to heal. And you guys know this. I mean, our founders, Myrtle, that's what she found out, and she didn't have any scientists telling her that's how it's done. She started praying. She started reading scripture. She started really washing her mind in truth, and healing and wholeness. One of my favorite neuroscientists, I've gotten into her last couple of years. She's on Instagram. Her name's Dr. Caroline Leaf. She says this: we can reprogram our thinking by small amounts throughout the day, little pauses, intentional breath, affirmations, and visualizations that can change our brain circuits to choose joy over despair. I love that. To rejoice instead of complain, to extend kindness and mercy instead of judgment and wrath. Your mind is how you uniquely experience life. It's responsible for how you think, feel, and choose, and your physical brain merely responds to these unique experiences. So it's these daily practices throughout the day that we start to change our brain. I'm in A Course of Miracles Made Easy on Wednesday nights, and I gotta tell you, it has been incredible. It uses these same principles in really restructuring how we think about life in our reality. And in the text, I think I have in A Course in Miracles, text 8, healing is the result of using the body solely for communication. Since this is natural, it heals by making whole, which is also natural. All mind is whole, and the belief that part of it, physical or not mind, is fragmented or a sixth interpretation. Mind cannot be made physical, but it can be made manifest through the physical if it uses the body to go beyond itself. By reaching out, the mind extends itself. That's a lot of words. What it basically is saying is our mind is not our brain is not our mind, but our mind, what we're perceiving matters because it changes, right? Thoughts change into matter, change into neurobiology. So our minds, what we are focused on, will start to extend out of us, either as an extension of grace or a projection of our worst fears. So that's what projection is. When I start to see you, and I'm judging you, and I'm really upset by what you are doing and how you are living, that is not creation. That is my not wanting to deal with it in myself. And not that I do those very things, but that we all have a part of us that we don't like to look at, and it's called the shadow self. And so if I'm not dealing with my grief, with my trauma, with my anger, with my sadness, with my depression, I will put it somewhere. But the universe wants us to see it so we can heal it. So I'll see it in others. So the next time you spot it, just know you got it. My husband hates that. You spot it, you got it. He's like, stop it. And then he does it back to me, and I'm like, oh, I don't like that. You know? But it can be very beneficial if we can get over the shame of it. And how we get over shame is we bring it into the light of a good relationship. And we say, I really feel ugly in this. And then in that moment, light is shining on it. And I know a lot of us are in 12-step recovery. That is so beneficial to get together with some like-minded people and say, this is how I think. Ugh. And they're like, me too. And then the shame just kind of goes away because they can't live in that. Right? And so as we start to deal with our shame, we project less and less and less. Now, we are human. There are days when I probably shouldn't be let out of the house. My mind is so messed. It's just like, and a lot of it has to do with simple things. Have I had enough rest? Well, you know, I have a puppy. So for a couple of months there, no, I didn't. And so I just had to be very careful on really what I was focusing my attention on. Because when I'm tired, I don't know, everything's harder. It just is. Am I hungry? You know, do I need a snack? I mean, it's simple. How are my relationships? Do I have some relationship struggles? That can really drain our ability to live in joy, right? My next favorite verse, this is actually, I love this. This is in A Course in Miracles in the text 8. Joy is a unified purpose, unity. And unified purpose is only God's purpose. When yours is unified, it is God's purpose. God's purpose. What's the purpose of my life?
Joy.
Oh, you are so smart. Yes! He is listening. Good student. Yes, joy is my purpose. That's a nice purpose to have. Like, what's God's will in my life?
Joy.
Yes! Yes. So every time maybe we start to ask that question, am I walking in the purpose of God? Do you have joy about it? If you don't, then look at it. And then bring it up. Maybe write about it. Maybe talk to a friend like, oh, I'm struggling here. Now, I might be nervousness. Like Joe knows that I love preparation for these talks. I was talking to Gail earlier. Gail and I are similar. My mind is pinging here and here. I had a whole different message 2 weeks ago. And but then I thought of this title, and then it matched then I was like, oh gosh, I got to think of something else. But I just kept going on tangents, and I love that part. And then 24 hours before I'm to talk, I'm like, Joe, why did I say yes? I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk in front of a bunch of people. I just want to stay home in my pajamas. And then that's my nervousness. That's how it shows up. And then I wake up in the morning, and then I'm in. I'm excited. I'm like, oh, it's all coming together. That's just my process. It does bring me joy, though I do get nervousness. And my nervousness is about my old childhood stories. Are you going to like me? That's all it is. And I can go, you're okay, sweetie. These people love you, and you love them. We're a great community together, right? We're all brothers and sisters. And then, so that nervousness is not like saying, don't go down that path, because that's the work that we have to work, right? Do I have joy about this? Well, maybe underneath. But maybe I've got some stuff I need to work through that's starting to bring up. Because really, to live a life of joy is actually to look the dragons in the eyes. It's actually because the dragons guard the treasure. So we have to be very brave and walk up to those dragons and go, hey, why don't you go look that way? Just like those ants. Go give them something else to do. Why don't you go look at that? I got to go in there in the cave and get my treasure. And then you find out the dragons are really small, and they're not even that big, and they don't even have any fire anymore. So, embodied joy. What I'd like for us to do is have an experience. And this is work by Dr. Rick Hanson, a neuroscientist, Hanson. He wrote a wonderful book, and I forgot to put it down on my notes, but it's about happiness. It's about building a happy life. And he has this acronym, and it's called HEAL, H-E-A-L. I hope that's my next thing, so good. So, because I just skipped a whole part. HEAL is the acronym, have a positive experience, enrich it, absorb it, and link positive and negative material. And what this means, what he described is when he was in his 20s, he kind of stumbled upon like talking to a girl and the girl talking back to him, and he felt excited and happy to be seen. And what he noticed is if he would hold on to that feeling for about 10 seconds, it actually got stored in his system. And he started experimenting with it. Well, he'd have another positive experience, and it would bring joy and happiness. And he'd go, oh, I'm going to hold on to this for a second and just really bathe into this moment. And what neuroscientists have found out is this is a real deal. This is a real thing. And through EMDR, I actually teach my clients this in the beginnings while we're preparing for EMDR, is to strengthen the positive neural network. And what you do, and I'm going to have you guys do this, it's cool, and you can do it anytime you want, is you think of a joyful experience, something that brings a lot of good feelings, and then you tap it in slowly. And you can do it, it's called bilaterally, so you're going to cross your hands, put your thumbs together, make a little butterfly, and you're going to find your collarbone. It's hard to do with this. Wait, yeah, there you go. You guys got it. And what you're going to do is you're going to think of that thing and you're going to slowly tap the butterfly wings on your collarbone. So what I'd like for you to do is if you can bring up just a memory or a thought or even imagination. Some people love the idea, and one of my favorites is being in a barn and listening to the horses eat their hay and smelling that wonderful smell. I love the smell of horse poop. Yeah. But I'm weird, right? I'm one of those ones. But maybe like a walk in the forest, or imagine those big redwoods. Oh, those are gorgeous. And just go there and imagine it, see the colors, feel it. Feel the air. What's the air quality? What's your favorite temperature? Is there a light breeze? Smells. What does it smell like? What's your favorite smell? Are you enjoying something tasty? And just go there. And as you go there, start to slowly tap that in with your butterfly wings. Just softly. There you go. Yeah. You can do that at any time. Good work. Okay, you can open your eyes. Now, if you're in public and you feel kind of, not feeling like you want people to watch you while you do this, you can actually use your toes in your shoes. If you're having when you're in France, Stan, Mary, when you're in France and you're having a really good experience, start to just tap your toes one at a time and just get into that feeling. And then as you're double tapping, what it's doing is it's pinging both sides of your brain, and it's really literally using all the brain senses, and it's going to store it into long-term memory. Because if we flit from flower to flower, like a butterfly, let's say, or whatever does that, maybe they do stay a little longer, but if we don't stay long enough, that doesn't get housed in our long-term memory. So that's why it's really wise to be in the moment. And you don't even have to be in the moment. You can imagine the moment, because your mind doesn't know any different. It's like, oh, this is great. Let's do this. And then it encodes the brain. And so you do that over and over throughout the day. So if you can go back to the HEAL acronym. So that positive experience, that's the enriching part that we just did. That's the absorbing part that we just did. Now the linking positive to negative, what you do is this, is you imagine a container in your brain. It could be Tupperware, it could be a picnic basket that locks, it can be a file system. And let's say you have a bit of a negative experience, you just get a little anxiety. You imagine that thing, and you put it in that container, and you put that container out somewhere else. You can put it on a shelf where you don't see it anymore. You send it on a boat. You watch it go off into the horizon. You just send it away. Then you come back to that experience, that positive experience, and you tap it in. And then it comes up again. You're like, oh, nope, putting it in that little container again. Put it away. Come back to the positive experience. And what happens is as you build the positive, it gives you the strength to deal with the more negative experiences. And it gives you that mental flexibility to not get pulled in, not to get sucked in, to despair, to days and days of depression, right? Now, I'm not saying that other methods are not necessary. I highly believe in medication when it works. I highly believe in seeing a therapist, mental health professionals, but these are all really good habits, even if, let's say, you are on those paths, to continue to do that work. That'll strengthen your ability to inhabit joy. Because what is our purpose here? Yes, you guys are really, really smart. So I'm pretty much done. I'm going to invite you into an experience. I have a little rock here, and you probably can't see it, but it says joy. I used these really special paint markers to create this little rock. And what I envisioned is for us to all create little rocks that we feel like the world needs. Like, I really feel like the world needs more joy. That's why I talked on this today. But maybe there's some sort of word in you that you really feel like the world needs. I've got rocks over in the fellowship hall and special pens that you have to shake really hard and then press down for a little bit. They should work. I used them all last night, but they do require maybe a little setup. And please come over and make some rocks. And what I'd love for you to do is take those rocks into our community. They could even be here at Unity or Woodstock or even by your home. And if you would, take a picture of where you put your creation and post it to our Unity Woodstock Facebook page. And all you online, I hope you do similar. And maybe we can start, there was a movement, it was this kindness movement where people there were all these groups putting these wonderful messages on rocks. And you'd be like going along and you're in Walmart and you're coming out with your cart and you look down and you're like, whoa, there's a rock. And it says, oh my gosh, it says I'm beautiful. And it was just so nice. Every once in a while you'll just get these little hints. And that's what I was kind of envisioning. So there's rocks out there, there's pens, please enjoy. And thank you for being here. Namaste.
What you dream that sometimes seems impossible, let the voices fade that tell you it's improbable, and hold on to what you love. Hold on to what you dream of. You will be unstoppable. Anything is possible. What you dream that sometimes seems illogical, when you try and fall, your dream may feel intangible. So chin up, try again, stand up and carry on. Your dream will become visible. Anything is possible. Possible. Believe. Hey, hey, I believe. Hey, hey, I believe. Hey, hey, I believe. Hey, hey, I believe that I am unstoppable, because anything is possible. You will be unstoppable. Anything is possible. Anything is possible. Believe. Believe.
Yes, thank you. Great song. This is the time in our service to collect and accept your tithes and donations. If you would please go ahead and take out your gift. If you are online, you can go to our webpage at unitywoodstock.org and click on the Joy of Giving tab. Just going to put it in our Facebook. There we go. Here at Unity Spiritual Center of Woodstock, we are self-supporting. All your donations directly support our talks, classes, and the events we facilitate. If you are in the sanctuary with us, please take out your gift and place it in your hands as we bless your gift here, and those of you at home, hold your gift to your heart. We will acknowledge these blessings with a short prayer. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. For those of you in the sanctuary, the greeters will gratefully accept your gift at this time. For these gifts and all of you givers, we say together 3 times, thank you, God, thank you, God, thank you, God. And so it is. Amen. Unity Spiritual Center of Woodstock is a ministry based on prayer. You can fill out a prayer request form at our prayer station right over here. Your request will be prayed over for 30 days by our prayer team and Silent Unity. Or you can meet with our prayer chaplain today. Yes, we can. We have Jackie Gerard in the house. She is our prayer chaplain if you want a one-on-one prayer. Now for announcements, I know it's your favorite time of the service. We have several different events going on at all times. This is just a little bit of a smattering, but if you want to see what is going on, we have a really nice calendar on our unitywoodstock.org. But we have Mind Shifters on Tuesdays. I hear it's pretty powerful. If you really want to change this thing up here and here, here, do something like that on Tuesday nights. You will definitely transform your mind. Course in Miracles Made Easy. I think we have like 4 or 5 more weeks. It has been incredible. I thank Rena. Man, she has just done an amazing job of really opening up all the resources available, taking us through this very dense text. I mean, it's huge. And it's A Course in Miracles Made Easy by Alan Cohen it's been for me life-changing. We also have, if you haven't RSVP'd or you have not received an email that asks you to RSVP, go to info@unitywoodstock.org and say, I really want to go. I want to be there for our Reverend Mary Patrice's ordination party. Yeah, so that's what it looks like when you click on the link if you got the email. And because they need to know how much food there needs to be there. All right, next, Feed My Starving Children event. It is going to be held on July 16th. Please sign up. There's only so many slots, and I am not clear on how to do that. So maybe, is anyone clear on how to sign up for Feed My Starving Children here today? No. So if you're interested, email info@unitywoodstock.org and just say, I'm interested in signing up for that. And then do we have anything else? No. All right. So let's finish with our prayer for protection and the peace song. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well, and so it is. Amen.